Now we got audio.
Now we have audio. Now we can talk. How's it going? What's up?
Before we get started, did you get your talking points?
No. No, I didn't. But it's okay. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, we're good. I can remember pretty much. You know, you want to go into it fresh sometimes.
Understandable.
No, but I think I have a pretty good idea. I mean, I think we were having a great conversation. I mean, we talked for we honestly should have just recorded what we were talking about when you first got here. We just discussed conspiracy theories for an hour pretty much. But we got into a lot of cool stuff. I talked about we talked about the one that everybody's talking about right now, the
Epstein?
Yeah, Epstein. The Palm Stone. What is it? It's not Palm Stone. It's oh, damn.
It's like West Palm.
West Palm Pete. West Palm Pete.
West Palm Pete.
West Palm Pete. That's it. Yeah, everybody's talking about West Palm Pete. No, that's not. And he's like, hey, I'm not Epstein. Yeah. That's pretty crazy. But it's just he's being so weird about it. It's just like, that's so weird. It's like, okay, so somebody saw this guy driving down the interstate and they thought he looked like Epstein. And I guess it spread on social media. And then, you know, he gets on there and he's talking. And he's like, hey, not Epstein here. Just wanted to say hello. You know, not Epstein. He's just like, what the fuck is happening?
You got to look at the facts of the situation, though. Like, he looks like Epstein. He lives in Epstein's neighborhood.
Yeah, he talks about the same shit. He uses the same words.
Yeah.
The same phrases.
There's only so far you can go with that.
Yeah,
and
it's weird. Either he's just doing a crazy good, comedic, satirical version of it.
It could be.
or that's him, man. I don't know.
But it's something that you also got to think about whenever it comes to something like that is look at, okay, let's take somebody that was as popular as Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay? Michael Jackson was known world over.
Yeah.
All right? Maybe one of the most popular people world over ever.
Yeah.
Other than somebody like Gandhi or somebody. But what I'm saying is
he was
as a musician.
Yeah, he was super, super popular.
Yeah. So he doesn't have the option to retire.
Yeah.
There's no way that he could retire and go vacation in Florida or go vacation. He would have to go to the top of Alaska.
Yeah.
To vacation every year.
You know that shit. You know, there's that really creepy video of Michael Jackson where he was, he's talking to somebody and they're like, I don't know why it's during when everybody's coming after him, like he's a pedophile and everything. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know why everybody's coming after me when they should be looking at the man down the street. And everybody was like, that's a really weird thing to say. And I remember somebody did some research on that and they think that it was P. Diddy that lived down the street. And he was actually talking about P. Diddy.
Yeah, it was P. Diddy that lived down the street.
And that's so crazy, man. And I can see that. Maybe the whole rumor with that was that what Michael Jackson was trying to get control of his masters, control over his music basically, and they didn't want him to have that. So they were, that was the whole pedophile thing. Yeah. And a lot of people say that the whole Wonderland thing was his version of he knew that they were getting taken to Epstein Island, so he wanted to make his own version of that wasn't.
Yeah, and it had nothing to do with it.
It had nothing to do with rape. That was actually helpful for the kids and stuff. Well, that was his way of trying to combat it.
Yeah.
From his almost kind of warped childlike naivete.
And that's another thing. His childhood was trash. So
right,
I believe he had a good heart.
I think that's what it is. I think he really did have a good heart. I think he was just a kid.
He just expressed it wrong.
Yeah,
or not expressed it wrong, but
expressed it in a way that could be manipulated into other people
because it's so different.
Yeah, because he was a weird guy, But that's very interesting, though.
It is. There's also something I heard about Michael Jackson that the guy who, I ain't going to say his name, but one of his directors or producers back in the day was doing stuff with him. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know because once he got out of the Jackson 5, he transitioned in weird ways.
Oh, you mean when he was younger?
Whenever he first left the Jackson 5, become Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
All right, I think I'm not sure if the Thriller album was the first one that he worked with a producer on or not. But anyways, the guy's pretty accredited, and
Yeah.
like I have, when it comes to stuff like that, it's all going to be hearsay.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all going to be hearsay because it doesn't matter. The only way that you're going to know it is if you saw it with your own eyes.
Right. We just say allegedly.
Allegedly, yes.
Allegedly.
Like
His producer was fucking him, but we don't know.
Yeah.
But it's
or
possible.
something along those
Yeah.
lines. But
oh yeah, we were talking about the Ellen shit, like the Anne Heche thing. We saw that. He hadn't seen that video where Anne Heche like gets up from the gurney, and I showed him that. That's like so spooky, man. I don't know why that's so creepy to me, but they're like she crashes into the building. And another thing you guys pointed out, you were like, why are the firefighters putting her in the
exactly,
ambulance?
exactly.
Like what's going on?
I mean, it's almost to the point to where like no matter what the lie is about, how stupid do they think we are?
Yeah, right. It's just like
Yeah. It's not somebody pointing like rewinding. It's not somebody like that trying to find this stuff.
Right. It's just
we're just
too
seeing
obvious.
it at first
Yeah,
glance.
It's too obvious at first glance. Yeah, yeah. It was crazy. She it's like they're taking her to the gurney. And like Anne Heche has died. Ellen's wife at the blah blah blah, and they're taking her, and then you see her like get up from the gurney right as they're like passing like the camera underneath.
Mm-hmm.
It's so spooky. And then there's all the shit with Ellen and Epstein, and like, did you tell me like the background is like Epstein's island?
Yeah,
like her set on Ellen.
All you gotta do is just look up an old Ellen show. You'll see it.
Yeah.
And back in the day, we had
weird.
no idea what it was about.
Right, because we didn't associate that imagery with Epstein, like a striped like building and palm trees. Like that's weird, man. That's really weird.
Well, I mean,
there's a lot of weird stuff with Ellen. I mean, and just all the stuff where people talk about how mean she is and how cruel she was. People weren't allowed to look at her or talk to her.
Yep.
Just crazy shit.
And it wasn't just one type of person. It wasn't just women.
Yeah.
It wasn't just men. It's children, teenagers, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And
that's wild. What else were we talking about? We were talking about, I don't know if we discussed. Oh, I don't know if we discussed the Wayfair conspiracy stuff. That was like,
that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Wasn't Walmart.com on there too? I think that there was something on Walmart that was like, it might not be.
It could have been, and Wayfair is kind of like a Amazon or Walmart type store, right? And it's like people buy stuff there off online, right? And it's like the whole thing was like there was a bunch of really expensive furniture and like bedroom pillows.
Yeah, a pillow
for $10,000. Yep. And people are like, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole thing was like when people would try to ask them about it, it was just like, oh, well, that's just a glitch in the system. That's just a mistake. Like, oh, okay. Well, if it is a mistake, why are people actually buying it? I mean, people, they went into like the metadata or whatever of it and could see like people were buying these things. They don't know who, but people were buying it, whatever it was. And then they go on to show a lot of the names are these really weird names that, happen to correspond with missing people cases. Like these really, and who knows? Maybe it's coincidental. And I even saw some stuff where one of those people was like, no, I'm not missing. What are they talking about? Who the fuck knows, man?
Yeah.
But it's just really strange how it connected to like a lot of that shit. Like that it could have connect to human trafficking and like.
Well, there's a lot. I've heard of a lot of conspiracies when it comes to the human trafficking stuff.
I mean, this is a $1 billion industry that operates under our eyes.
Yeah.
So.
And the messed up part is the people who's ordering this stuff.
There has to be some way it works. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And the people who's ordering this stuff, it's not like they're ordering at random. They're specific about what they want.
Right, yeah.
So the people who's the traffickers have to go out and so to say find that.
Right.
And like that's the problem with it. Like it's so disgusting. It's based off somebody else's appetite. Like who gets taken and stuff like that. But I don't know how true this is. But I heard that during the year 2020 that there were over, now I don't know how many got found or anything like that. But I heard that there was over 900,000 children that went missing in the U.S.
I heard something about that too. Yeah, a lot of them were migrant children too that had come over.
Oh no! This was not like this was documented children.
Oh, okay.
This doesn't count like migrants or refugees or anything like that.
Yeah.
This is just documented children. And I've heard so much stuff like people will go downstairs in the basement and see like a horrific scene and stuff like that. And you know, it's an alleged thing.
Yeah.
But like, why are all these stories linking up? Because it's not just one person making money making these lies.
Yeah.
Like this is coming from multiple sources, from multiple people and stuff like that. Now, there's people that like you got to watch out like what sources you get from and stuff. Like I don't know. That's just something to each discernment, like to their own discernment. Like
I think
Well,
I get what you're
trust
saying.
more.
Like, you never know what slant the person you're reading from is you know coming
What's their
from.
angle?
Yeah, what's their angle? Yeah,
exactly.
there's a lot of ways.
So you have to take it all with a grain of salt.
Yeah, and you have to look at the collective. I mean, unfortunately, you have to look at everything and kind of compare everything
And almost
to
do your
each
own
other
research.
and kind of see, okay, well, I guess the truth is somewhere in the middle of that. Out of everything, kind of take an aggregate of everything, kind of say, I guess the truth is somewhere in the middle. But even then, you're like, I don't know, really. Like,
Well, okay, like for instance, the way I go about whenever I try to find something
yeah,
is the first thing is, are they showing it on the news? All right?
right, yeah.
Like,
I think that's the big thing to it nowadays. Is like,
things come on the news and stuff like that are real, and I'm not denying that.
nobody trusts the news anymore.
But exactly. There's not a person
one
that trusts the news.
Only boomers actually watch the news. And,
Yeah,
and maybe trust it a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's just like, that's gone. And like once they're gone, like nobody listens to the news anymore. It's
Exactly.
gone. It's done. Like, we're
it's
done
like,
with the
it's
news.
like almost the only thing that comes on the news is an agenda.
Right. Well, we're done. We can't collectively agree on anything anymore. So that's bad. Like, that's gotten to a really bad point where we can't agree on anything. So if you can't agree on anything, you can't have a conversation with someone. You can't come to some basis of reality. Of like, we're here right now, right? We're having this conversation.
Well, like today, I started scrolling and stuff like that and on TikTok. And I'm not saying I find all my news on TikTok because I try to go deep.
But it's okay to get.
But like I find out topics, so to say that I want to look.
No,
up.
yeah.
And like that's what makes it news is the virility I find to it.
Yeah.
But I saw that Australia was red today. Well, not whenever I was on TikTok, I saw it from three different people.
Right.
Okay, from three different views.
So it's like the first time you see it, you're thinking, that's
CGI.
weird. Maybe that's AI or something.
Yeah, AI.
Yeah. That's weird. And then the same thing, like, okay, maybe that's two people that have done that outside independently of each other, but that's weird. Okay, maybe not. And then you see it again, and you're like, okay, well, maybe I can believe it.
And then you see something that a news person.
But even then, it's still in the back of your mind, like, but I'm willing to admit I could be tricked.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, nobody knows what's like. Let's take Arkansas. We don't know what's going on in Arkansas other than what they tell us on.
I don't even know why they say it that way. It should be Arkansas.
I'm surprised you didn't say Arkansas. But, anyways, we don't know what's going on over there other than what they tell us is going on over there.
What's going on over there? What do you mean?
There's nothing like that I know that's going on.
Oh, you're just saying in general.
But in general, like, if you want to know what's happening in a neighboring state, you have to eat the bread that you're fed.
Yeah, you have to
like,
trust them to some degree. Yeah.
Unless somebody can have a friend in every state and call and be like, hey, is this really going on? Because I can't tell you how many times I've seen, not.
But that's how the news is too. Like they'll be like, shit's going down, shit's crazy. But if you could talk to somebody there, they might be like, no, it seems normal to me.
Well, when the riots was going on in, I think it was Baltimore back in 2020.
There was a few different places. There
was a camera shot, okay?
Yeah.
And it showed like this road, a 2-lane road, and it opened up to a bigger area, and that bigger area had a whole bunch of people in it.
Yeah.
There was like a fenced off, barrier or whatever, one of the metal doohickeys. But they had some kind of military Humvee there with some kind of crowd control, something on it. But there was a person about, I'm going to say 30 yards behind them or maybe 50 yards behind them. But anyways, they were filming, they were doing the news broadcast and stuff. And 4 days later, I saw where somebody had on their phone a different angle where there was, and it showed like people like over there, like cultivated in that area. Like
you can manipulate the truth.
Exactly, because like once you look at it, like once you see it from a different angle, it doesn't even look like it.
But that could be orchestrated and staged, and people are role playing or playing it up to an extent.
Yes,
and everything is like that. And then maybe somebody else sees that, thinking that's true, and goes full force. Like that can create momentum into making something that's not real, kind of in a weird way. Yeah, I know what you mean though. That's crazy though. I think that's really like when COVID came about, and like just after researching everything and all that, and then when the riots happened, they were like, oh, okay, it's okay, we can go riot, that's fine. I think that was kind of the first part of me kind of being like, oh well, that's bullshit. Like what the fuck? It was, what do you mean it's okay to riot? You can't. I think that might be slightly dangerous if there's a virus going on. But
oh no, the riots got really bad during that time, and
I think, but that was the end of it. That kind of ended anybody kind of really heavily talking or thinking about it. You know what I mean? That was like the end of it. But it was just, I think a lot of that was pent up frustration of just being locked inside too. You know,
being locked inside, starving, broke,
going crazy, having fever. Everybody's like half psycho. Like
everybody, it touched everybody in a different way.
Yeah,
but then again, during that time, they blocked off the Mississippi Bridge, going over the Mississippi River. You didn't hear about that on the news.
Yeah.
Like, I heard that half of the Golden Gate Bridge was blocked off. You didn't hear about that on the news.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and I actually got to see this stuff. Like, somebody actually with their phone recording.
Yeah.
Like, nobody knows how many different states was rioting. Like, and some of it was peaceful protests, but a lot of it was rioting.
Yeah, right.
Like, a lot of it was.
Well, and it's just now we don't know. It's now we don't know on either side of, like, who are the people who are actually... Because, like, you could have agent provocateurs that are, like, really people who want to make that side look bad, so they start shit like we were just talking about. And then it gets other people thinking, oh, that's what we're doing, we're rioting. And then it creates momentum where there really wasn't momentum.
Yeah.
But you can, like, I think all these movements have that now. They have people from the outside who infiltrate and escalate to make the movement look worse. Because that's the best way to attack something, is to pretend like you're part of it, and escalate and destroy from within.
Yeah,
it's too, like, strategically, it's too powerful to do that. Like, so it's being done constantly with everything. Anything that's like big, anything that's like a movement that has like momentum, that it's infiltrated on some level by outside people who are trying to, like, actively break it down.
Yeah,
that's what's crazy, man. What else were we talking about? We were talking about the whole Epstein shit is just wild. I mean, everybody's talking about that right now.
Yeah, there's so many angles of that. And, like, I tell you what, a lot of people just finally got tired of talking about is this war. Like, everybody's about done with that. Like, nobody really agrees with it. And
no, I definitely, this is like, I am happy to see that this, that a lot of the people, especially the younger people, are just like, no, we don't want to do that. We're not doing this. We don't want to do it. Like, we're just done with it. We don't want to. They didn't even make a good case for it. Like,
no, they didn't. They didn't. Like, the reason we went over there was bogus because supposedly, I don't know the exact date, but it was like 3 to 6 months before that, we had went and bombed Iran and supposedly destroyed all their nuclear facilities and jumped and hoo-hawed and everybody celebrated over that.
Yeah.
But then, now we're going back and we have to fight a war because they have nuclear facilities.
And now it's the whole thing is I think it's coming down to them deciding whether or not they can put boots on the ground or whether they want to do that, knowing how that will look and everything. It's like, and then if you do that, you're going to take casualties of some sort. If you're putting boots on the ground at that point, you're taking casualties to it. So then on some level, even if it's not a lot,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, I think everybody sees through it too, how it's just like how it's so clearly in service of Israel and not in America's interest to continue fighting Israel's enemies in the Middle East. Like that doesn't help us.
We shouldn't be over there.
Right. That doesn't help us. That just makes them more upset and more likely to come over here and shoot up a bar like that one guy that just shot up a bar had a T-shirt on that said like I don't know, it was something like it was something in that was an appreciation of like that area or whatever. I can't remember exactly what it says. I wish I could remember what his T-shirt says. It was something crazy though. But yeah, that guy. When was that? I think that was in Texas. Maybe it just happened recently.
Yeah,
but there was video of it. And it was like right after those strikes in Iran. It was like that's the kind of thing. Like that's the kind of blowback that those kind of things.
Hey, it's going to keep getting worse.
Yeah,
because there's less American people. They've done polls and censuses, and less American people are for this war than what they were for with Vietnam.
Wow.
In Vietnam, they were throwing eggs at soldiers and stuff like that whenever they got off the planes. Like calling them baby killers and stuff like that. Like Vietnam, the stories I heard about Vietnam just like blew my mind. Not only what happened overseas, but then they had to come back to a bunch of crap.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like Vietnam was the first battle that we was ever in, where whenever we came back, they wasn't welcome with open arms. Like they almost had to sneak back in and not tell anybody that they were over there fighting.
And they weren't expecting that exactly either.
No, because every war before that, whenever you come back, you're decorated. Come in here and eat for free.
Yeah,
like everybody.
Yeah, I think that definitely that definitely fucked a lot of them up for sure.
And not only that, but like America now is way more diverse than what it was even in Vietnam, even in Desert Storm.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've heard there's unnecessary hate that spreads with this mess. Like, so much unnecessary hate.
Yeah.
I used to go to this deli. And
war creates more hate than anything else. You know what I mean?
Well, back whenever we was, I think we was attacking Iraq after 9/11. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we weren't.
But whenever we was attacking Iraq, everybody was stealing American flags off of other cars, rentals and stuff like that. They were stealing American flags because everybody wanted to have an American flag on the car.
It was
during that time.
Was super patriotic.
Like everybody was super patriotic and stuff like that. But there's
that was the most patriotic I've ever seen America. Was right after that.
But there's always a backhand to it because I used to go to this deli called Alibaba's.
Yeah,
and it was ran by Iraqi people.
Yeah,
they had been in business since the 70s.
Yeah,
okay. They used to be the 24-hour deli that was on.
I remember that place. You took me to that place one time to get a euro.
And everybody's nice as hell over there.
Yeah.
Everybody was. Yeah. And the whole family, I ain't got nothing but good things to say about them.
Yeah.
Ate there for years, from a child on up to late teens whenever they shut down. Or actually mid-20s whenever they shut down. But they told me that whenever all that was going on with 9/11, people would come in there and be like, I don't want your terrorist food and stuff like that. And like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They have been over here for 30 years.
Right. They're not, they've assimilated. Like, those are the ones that have assimilated. They're not
And that's just, that's ridiculous to me. Like, is how much hate, like, and, hate on both sides. Like,
well, we spent all this money on this military. We got to use it, That's what
it's not just that.
Once I had heard they were moving the ships from, over here to over there, I was like, oh, well, what's happening then? Because that cost millions of dollars. They wouldn't do that unless they were going to do it. Yeah. For sure, it's for sure happening then.
There is in the government, there is I guess it's Congress, I'm not sure. There's a military budget, okay?
Yeah.
That opens up if there's ever a war declared, okay? And it opens up a ton of money.
Yeah.
All right? And when I say a ton of money, I'm talking about trillions it opens up. All right? It's supposedly something that we always have aside. But now, since all that money opens up and stuff like that, doesn't it make sense now why every president that we've had since Reagan declares some kind of war on something. Most of it's an idea. Like,
Yeah, I mean, well,
war on drugs. Well, what makes a drug?
it's so crazy because Trump ran on no more war. So I mean, he was making fun of Jeb for Bush for his brother getting us into Iraq.
Yeah.
So it's like it sucks that to know that or to feel like that no matter what, that's always going to be like. They're always going to go for war at some point. It doesn't matter what they say.
Yeah.
To a degree, they might be able to manipulate you.
Well, even if they declare war just to like kill off, like fire the bombs that we need to get rid of and stuff like that. If you're going to dispose a bomb, it's going to cost 3 times as much as it would declaring some kind of war and firing them all in one spot.
Oh, yeah.
And if they go to sell the ordnance, then you could be selling them to terrorists or something like that down the road.
Oh, how many times? We've done that so many times.
Yeah.
We've trained. I mean, the CIA has trained so many. Yeah, I mean, they trained Al Qaeda. They trained. I mean, we create these people to try to use them as a weapon, and then at some point they turn against us. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah.
How many times can you do that? And be like, oh shit, they turned on us. Like, yeah, I think obviously, if you're trying to play this like covert game where you're trying to attack people through proxy states and like, a lot of times it's us trying to attack Russia or China through some kind of proxy war. Like this war with Iran is sort of like a little bit of a proxy way of hurting Russia right now because of how Russia gets their oil or sells their oil to Iran or something.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, exactly how that works, but there's a lot of like connectedness to it in that respect,
the ordnance, a lot of Russian ordnance that they fired at Ukraine came from Iran, like missile wise, came from Iran supposedly.
Yeah.
But that's something else I like. The whole thing with Ukraine, like you can't tell me a country that's almost as big or a little bit bigger than Texas, like takes that long to overrun with a military power like Russia. That's been going on for almost 5 years now.
It's still going on. Yeah, that's what's crazy, man.
And like, if I was Ukrainian at this point, I'd just be like, okay, I'll go to France. Like I don't mean nothing bad, but I like where I'm at and stuff like that. But if there was bombs dropping on this place, I wouldn't last more than a week. And I'd be like, I think I need to go someplace else. I'm tired of being woke up by explosions.
There was all that talk too. It was like, well, they're gonna, Putin's going to take over the whole of Europe and everything. It's just like, it's not going to happen, man.
Well, here's something that's really messed up. So, if you look back whenever all that was starting up and whatnot, NATO was taking
the whole thing with the sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead.
The whole thing with the pipeline getting blown up and we didn't know who did it. And then people think that it was us. Like, we did it. We blew up the pipelines to, like, fuck Russia up to get them to, like, that's what a lot of people think. Because... But let me let you go on because I just
no, you're okay. I was going to switch subject anyway, so you go ahead.
I just remembered that. Like I remember there was a lot of people that theorized that we actually blew up the pipelines over there.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
it really wouldn't surprise me. The way I see the whole war that's going on right now is if you put it to people like the war in Iran. Let's say I got to clarify. There's 3 separate wars that I know that's going on right now, but. The war in Iran, the way I understand that would be like, your child coming home and saying somebody had hit them and they got a black eye, and then you go get a baseball bat and then try to rectify the situation with that whenever it's just uncalled for.
Yeah.
Like a child, you had talked to them and stuff like that, whether it's steer clear, don't be getting in fights, try not to provoke, however you would want to handle it. Chances are you're not going to go get a bat and retaliate on another, like
right.
Iran compared to us, Israel compared to us.
It's hard for me to defend any war that's not us getting attacked. Like we were getting attacked, invaded. 100%. Hey, I'll be the first one to go up there and put my life on the line and sacrifice. I don't give a shit like that. I'll be 100% for a war we're being invaded and attacked. I don't care what the rules are. I don't care what the grayness of it is anymore. No, I'm on this side, they're on that side. Yeah. Like, that's just how I would look at it. But that's not happening. That's not going to happen, I don't think.
Whoa.
So it's like...
Now, in saying that, have you heard about the suspicious stuff that's been happening across the country? Like, there's been a lot of weird stuff since this war started up.
And
That, they're blaming it on this or they're blaming it on that. Like, for instance, if a comet was to get close enough to us for us to get showers off of it, that's something they're going to see a month away. All right, we got massive telescopes. All right.
Oh yeah, you're saying like they would see that.
Like exactly, we got massive telescopes on Earth. We got massive telescopes in space.
Yeah.
But the thing that gets me is all of a sudden, like, I don't know if you heard about Ohio. Ohio had something that supposedly it came from the way of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh saw it, and it was something flying across the sky, and it looked like a comet, and it landed in Ohio somewhere. Now, as far as impact site, I haven't seen anything on impact site. Haven't seen a crater or anything like that. But then there's been supposedly alleged reports of another 4, like around the country of the same thing, of sightings. Maybe not impacts, but of sightings.
Yeah.
Of something going around, and it's not from the same one. Then it was either a day ago or 2 days ago, from Orange County all the way down to San Diego. Blackout.
Wow. No, I hadn't heard any of that.
And is it a tax? I'm not saying it's a tax.
It could be. I mean, it could be cyber attacks. We don't know. I mean, we don't know how that would even kind of work.
Well, I
always tell people even if the electricity went out for a week, like shit would get real uncomfortable for people really fast.
Very fast. It wouldn't take a week. I'm going to say it'd take 3 days.
Yeah,
really, I think if it went off 3 days, dude, we've been so used to
cushioned
AC, and something to keep our food cold, and something to keep we've just been so used to that it's from generations.
Well, I mean, how often? Why do people like listening to podcasts and conversations? Because they don't get that anymore. Because they don't get to participate in a conversation with someone and have a back and forth and talk about stuff. And it's like that's so lacking from society and people's experience right now that they're craving it. That they would listen to somebody else do it just so they can feel like a third party voyeur.
Yeah. Well, it's also numbers with society and how certain people in society are having to live different ways. Some people don't see another person for a whole week.
Yeah. I mean, that's like it feels good to have a conversation and not look at your phone or pull it up for a set or be constantly distracted by technology. I know we're recording on technology, but we're having a conversation.
Yeah.
So I get why it's that blend of technology and authenticity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that is what a lot of people are craving right now. It's like because we kind of accept that there's a certain level of technology, but it's like, okay, if there is that level, can you at least be authentic and not be fucking fake?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a Progressive commercial that came out a while back, but anyways, a basement had flooded. All right. Yeah. And there was a plumber over there, and it had 5 people from Progressive there. And they were going to post on the internet about what was going on in the basement. And they were joking around, but it was like, life is pointless without affirmation. And it's literally to that point. And we would have to learn to live a totally separate way than what we live on a day-to-day basis, even after 3 days.
Oh, yeah, man.
We could talk to 1,000 people online, but we don't know where they live. We don't know their number. So if something happened that the power just shut off, even if cell phone towers still work, and the power just shut off, we still don't know how to contact half these people.
No, how would you get in? Yeah, that.
And a letter, 90% of people don't even know how to write cursive anymore. So a letter's out of the question.
Walkie-talkies would be so valuable.
Yeah, it really would. That's about walkie-talkie. And they'd bring back the old chirp phone.
Yeah. Because, a team of 6 or 7 guys with walkie-talkies would be so strong. and guns. You know what I mean? That could take out a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like with people who don't have electricity or technology anymore. Like
Yeah.
you can coordinate shit. Like pincer move shit, pincer move attack group shit.
Yeah.
What other conspiracy theories you got?
Oh, I got a bunch of them. Yellowstone was another one.
Yeah, you brought that one up. What is that one again?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, the caldera.
Yeah, the caldera, the super volcano.
There's a show I've been watching on Hulu that is about a super caldera that goes off and fucks the world up, and there's these people that live underground in this city. It's on Hulu. Yeah, I think you'd like it though.
Is it called Eruption?
No, it's called Paradise.
Paradise.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, because it's not like an apocalypse of. It's not an apocalyptic event you see a lot in fiction, and that's the first time I've ever seen it like in fiction like that, like on a show. You know what I mean? So it's interesting that you brought that up. But yeah, I mean that thing can go off at any time.
100% any time. And if it goes off, we've literally lost pretty much the Mississippi all the way over, and that's just what's destroyed, not what's covered with ash, just what's destroyed.
Yeah, well, I was talking about the whole younger Dryas thing in that last episode we did. It was a period of time that lasted 1,000 years, and at either end of it, of the 1,000 years, there's huge cataclysmic events. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
there was at the beginning there was a huge heating up from all the asteroids hitting and catching everything on fire, and there's lots of fires and everything, and then that temperature on the other end of the 1,000 years, you had massive cooling. Because all these glaciers finally cracked and melted, and there was these huge floods. And I think I showed some pictures in the last episodes of some of these fields where you can see the ripple marks in the fields from where these massive floodwaters must have moved over those plains. Which is, I mean, the only explanation really. I mean, when you look at that graph, it makes sense. You're like, oh yeah, that's what that is. I mean, there was a massive amount of water that was moving over that and created those ripples in the ground like that. That's the only thing that can create that kind of thing. I mean, they're huge, man. I mean, we're talking.
There's nothing more mighty than
I think they call
the
it
ocean.
Pulse Water B. I think is what it's called. That event when that happened, and they think that it flooded the entire North America, Canada, North America,
Yeah.
It completely flooded us, which also created a lot of very rich soil and stuff too when it did that. When all that sediment,
Yes.
got deposited all along there.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
Because you can almost grow anything anywhere in the U.S.
Yeah, you really can't. It's
Except
there's
maybe
only
parts of Southern California, Texas,
the
and New Mexico.
deserts and stuff. Yeah, and that's the very corner where the water didn't get to.
Maybe.
Interesting, yeah. It's very interesting. There's a guy named Randall Carlson that talks a lot about that.
But anyways, Yellowstone. What I was saying,
Yellowstone thing, yeah.
The stuff I had seen through the years, and honestly, I haven't kept up with it probably since 2018.
Yeah.
And what I had seen prior to 2018 was, ground was heating up so much it was melting asphalt, or they had put roads in. They would new, so to say, mud pits would form and boiling, mud and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This stuff's incredibly hot. You got to watch out. Yellowstone, it's a really, really cold area during the winter, but there's a lot of places that don't freeze. And it just stays warm, and it's off of that volcano. And to understand how much magma is underneath there is also something that would blow a lot of people's mind. There's enough magma that if that whole chamber that's underneath there releases, then it would put a magma flow from Yellowstone all the way down to Texas.
Ooh.
This ain't something. This volcano, if it was to erupt, would just be
catastrophic.
Absolutely catastrophic. There's no way to look at it other than that. And the ash is one of the most lethal things about it. They talked about how the ash could drop temperature across the whole world 15 degrees if it went off.
Yeah. Blot out the sky.
Yeah, block out skies for a little bit and stuff like that.
Then everything, all the fauna die. The animals that eat the fauna die. We can't eat the animals anymore. That we die.
And the only way that you would be able to get by that as if you covered the ground and then uncovered it. Like covered the ground, the ash shit or the ash falls.
I have heard a lot of rich people are buying bunkers and shit.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and a lot of our antiquities and stuff like that is going underground now.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I can't comment.
Well, there's Mount Weather. That's like the government. It's like under the mountain where they store, where they go if there's like a natural disaster. That's supposedly where they can go. There's this place called Mount Weather.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know about that. And there's a few other places too. That's not the only one. And on top of just these bunkers that they're building and shit, like, who knows where those are. Probably not going to tell us where those don't want to know where the fallout shelters are. That's a good show. I don't know. Have you seen Fallout, the TV show?
No.
Oh, it's good, man. It's a really good TV
I miss
show.
playing Fallout 3, though. God, do I miss that. I got too many memories with it. Every time I start playing it, I can't help but just do a whole campaign. There's no briefness to it.
It's a good game. It's a good series. Yeah, you guys see the show. The show's really good. I was going to bring up Skinwalker Ranch and just like UFO shit in general.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Skinwalker
I'm glad
Ranch?
you brought this up.
Yeah.
So, this wasn't a no sleep. Like, this wasn't our no sleep. And it sounds like it, but it wasn't. But I heard this story that there was these people that had moved in. This might have been, I got into him for a little while. It might have been Mr. Ballin. I don't know if you've ever heard of him or not.
Yeah.
Okay, it might have been him. I got into him for a little bit around 2020. But anyways.
Yeah, he covers a lot of like
yeah,
stuff.
he covers different stuff. But it blew my mind whenever I heard this. But there was a family that had moved, and I'm not sure if it was Skinwalker Ranch or not, but it was a ranch nonetheless.
Yeah.
Over in that area, and they were in the process of unloading their truck, all the furniture and stuff that came.
Right.
And so there was this wolf.
Yeah, I think it's the same story. Yeah, there's some wolf creature that comes out.
Yeah, like that approach.
Yeah.
And then like
he takes a shot at it.
Yeah, a shot at it or something like that. And then later on it comes back and winds up eating a calf. But it wasn't a normal, ordinary wolf. It was something like massive.
Like a wolf man.
Yeah, so, well,
Well, I mean, that's a lot of people. There was I remember there was a whole show where they went out there and they were trying to
That's it. Yeah, but that goes along the lines of
ghost.
No, not ghost. You're going to find more on ghost hunters than what you ever would with
the ranch Skinwalker.
No, it's that island. They keep trying to find that stupid treasure.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I was going to bring that up too, but I can't remember what the fuck that's called. Let me see if I can find it. Mystery Island.
What did they call that? Oak Island.
Oak Island, yes. Yep,
Anyways,
that there's supposed to be some treasure buried on Oak Island.
Well, I'll tell you this: if there was a treasure buried on Oak Island, it's in the Vatican vault.
Yeah,
because they're not. They can waste seasons and waste seasons and waste seasons, but if there's,
they haven't found anything. Really.
They found crumbs.
Like crumbs.
Here's a nail. Here's a buckle.
There's definitely signs that there was a settlement there.
Yeah, somebody had stopped by, but as far as
there's signs of that in lots of places. We don't know.
And if we're going to spend that much time trying to figure out a mystery, let's figure out Croatoa and what happened then.
I think there's definitely bigger mysteries for sure. The whole I remember the thing with Skinwalker Ranch. There was a bunch of weird things were happening to people, and they would talk about how the big thing that I took away from that was the hitchhiker effect that they talked about. Was anybody that would visit that Skinwalker Ranch area, and they were doing experiments and stuff, and they think a lot of that stuff might have to deal with parallel dimensions and stuff, or
maybe
there might be a weakness in the fabric of space time in that area that. because like their electronics would fuck up all the time. Weird shit would just like break. Like a phone would explode. Like it's just weird stuff would happen with the electronics, especially. And what they would talk about is and this shit that they'll get real like spooky even talking about this shit was the hitchhiker effect, where once they would leave and go back home, weird shit would keep still happening. Like little orbs would fly out in the sky and they would see it, or just weird shit.
Well, that goes back to like a paranormal.
Fly into their house and shit, and then just weird shit. And it would even like affect their family and the people that were close to them. Like it was almost like they had opened the door to something that they couldn't close back now.
Yeah.
And it almost makes you feel like there's almost like a spiritual or like demonic aspect to it almost. Like,
well, whenever it comes to that, like now I'm not going along with these ghost shows and stuff like that because it's so easy to fake results on those.
Yeah.
That be like, oh, it was a ghost, and it could be somebody with fishing line 100 yards away. Who knows?
Right. Yeah.
But anyways, I have heard like, and at one point I lived in a house where there was some stuff going on. And I know 100% there was some stuff going on.
Oh, really?
I didn't believe in ghosts until I lived in this house. Okay. And
I'm going to tell my ghost story too then.
Yeah, okay. But, so, whenever I first started living in this house, like, not whenever I go brush my teeth, the mirror in the bathroom would creep me out. And just the thought of, I couldn't look in the mirror to brush my teeth.
Really?
Like, could not.
Wow.
If I was to look into that mirror, like,
was it just because was it dark? Like, did you not?
No, it wasn't dark.
You could have the light on.
It wasn't dark. It was one of those mirrors where the center would stay the same, but the center was a door that would open, but there were angle mirror doors that you could open up from the side and stuff like that.
Yeah. And
I don't know why. Every time I looked in that mirror, I thought that I would find something like right behind me through that reflection. Yeah. It was a feeling so bad I couldn't fight it. Okay. Yeah. Like, I really couldn't fight it. One night, that went on for the whole time I was there. I was there for over a year and a half. Okay. Okay. And it went on the whole time. One time I was going into the bedroom, though. And the way smaller upstairs, but the way it was is you would come out of the bathroom, hang a left, and take like 2 steps, and then hang a right to get to the bedroom. Yeah. And whenever I went to go cross the plane into the bedroom, it was like something just paused my movement for about 4 seconds, and then all of a sudden I went forward again. There's no wind that could do that. Right. Well, yeah. And I'm too big, like for some kind of anything that we cannot see to stop my movement.
It was like there was a wall you couldn't pass.
Exactly. It was like I was pressed up against the wall, and then all of a sudden it disappeared, and I went forward. Wow. And then
that would spook me too.
Yeah. But the reason I brought that up, and this is what makes me believe in ghosts, is I heard that, animals, dogs, cats, they can see ultraviolet. Right. And some people say, like,
people say
allegedly.
People say animals can sense, like, earthquakes and stuff. Yeah. Before it happens.
Oh, yeah. That's actually, you could see that. Like, you could see that on footage, like a dog just, prior to an earthquake happening, a dog just start freaking out, like in the house right
It's like before. They can smell something.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. Like they have a very good sense. Yeah. But
I mean, it's like we don't understand how their sense works on some level, like because they have such more nerve endings and stuff in their nose. Like we just don't even understand. We don't understand because we can't sense like that. Yep. You know what I mean?
Well, all we know is what we know. Yeah. But anyways, so I was over at that house and they had this dog, and it was a little wiener dog. Okay, yeah. And I was talking to one of the family members in their room, and their room led to a back door. Yeah. Okay, and it was like a little, kind of like an add-on room or something like that. So it had a back door that went there, right. And they converted it to a room, but then it went to like the rest of the house after that. Okay. The dog sit there like we was all sitting there talking, and that wiener dog just sit there for 10 minutes, barking, hair standing up, and everything.
Like something was
was right there at the door. Yeah. I was like, well, maybe there's something on the other side of the door. Yeah. So, I went to investigate. I was like, do you mind if I open this door? And I'm like, no, I don't care. So I opened it up, nothing there. Okay? Yeah. Shut it. Went back. As soon as I get back over there, about 10 seconds later, the dog starts up again. Starts barking, raving. over there.
Wow.
Then, about after a minute of it barking, all of a sudden, the same way that a dog acts whenever a fast car passes by, and like they follow it, he followed something out the room.
Oh,
it went from the back door all the way through. Anyways, it went from the back door all the way through the room.
Probably a package or something.
So, something went from that back door, finally, after all that, and 4 people, saw
that
this.
doorbell spooked me, actually.
But, anyways, 4 people saw this. We were standing in the room, and whenever that dog ran to the other side of the bed, it went out, the dog never made another sound.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the only experience there.
Yeah, that's weird.
So we was getting ready to move, okay?
Yeah.
And, we was going to move to another house and stuff like that. And there was a mirror that was above the bed. Okay? And that mirror, we didn't know if we was going to take it or not because it was kind of bolted to the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And we was like, we'd have to unbolt it and probably go over here and have to re-bolt it and stuff like that.
Right, it's a bunch of...
So it was but we was like, I tell you what, we'll clean it up, and if we need it, we can just come over here and grab it.
Right.
Okay? So she goes...
That'll be the last thing.
Yeah, so we clean it, all right? I watched it be cleaned. I helped clean it and stuff like that. I know it was spotless. There was an older roommate that had lived there. Okay, upstairs there was an extra bedroom, and he lived there. He was never there hardly. He was a photographer. But anyways, so we left, and we had went down the road a little ways to another house.
Right.
Well, the next day we go back to see if there was anything we left or anything like that.
Yeah.
And we go to get in the room, where the room was, and he was across the hall, and he goes, "Hey, I need to ask you a question." And we said, "What?" And he goes, "Did you all have any little kids in here?" And I said, No. I was like, "When we left yesterday, we didn't come back." And he was like, "Oh, okay. Okay." And he starts to walk off. I was like, whoa. Stop your heels right there. I said, "What do you mean? Why are you asking if we had kids in here?" He goes, "Well, whether you believe me or not," he said, "all last night from about, I'm going to say 7 o'clock at night to about 2 o'clock in the morning, it sounded like kids was running just side to side of the house downstairs.
Oh,
you could just hear them giggling, talking, and stuff like that."
And he just
and he was like, and I was like, "Well, that's weird, man." I was like, "No, we ain't got no kids." Yeah. And he had a kid, but his kid was nowhere near that age. His kid was 14.
Right.
All right. Yeah. So here is really what made me believe. Okay. That was the only person in the house, and he never came out of his room. All right. The whole time I had been there for a year and a half, I saw him 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay. Very rare to see him out of his room.
Right.
We go in that room where we had cleaned that mirror, and there was a streak. And then this was a good sized mirror. It was about the size of the table.
Yeah.
There was a streak going from about a quarter into the mirror all the way over to the other side. And it just, I don't know what to call it other than ectoplasm. It was just this clear substance.
Ooh.
And it, you know how whenever they fake blood drips, how it's blotted and it looks like it's dripping down and stuff. Same way. It was this thick substance went across it, and it kind of oozed down a little bit.
That's
all right. Now, here's the most weird part.
Yeah.
There was 9 little handprints that size on the mirror.
Whoa, that's spooky.
All right. And we counted them, and there was 9 of them.
9.
We cleaned it, and we walked out of there about 8 p.m. the night before.
No.
I'm sorry, 5 p.m.
Made a point of cleaning it and everything.
Yeah, made a point of cleaning it and everything. And we came back, and all that was on there. Even if he wanted to do something.
They were just trying to trick you or something.
Even if he was trying to trick me. There's no way to put those handprints up there unless you're trying to plan it ahead of time.
Yeah.
You can't take a Cabbage Patch doll and put those handprints on there. You could even see the fingerprints.
In the line.
In the lines.
You could see the...
And it was it was 1-year-old hands.
I bet you're well, we're not taking that mirror.
I was that mirror stays. Matter of fact, everything in this room stays. I'm going to be the one to go.
I'll be the one to go.
Like that's what we're taking out of here is me.
I was gonna say I remember my only like really ghost story really is it's very minor, but it was just when I was very young. I remember my dad was working out on an exercise bike and he had headphones on, and I was playing with my toys in the den. I was probably like 6 or 7. I was young, and I was probably my kid's age now, honestly, and there was always this hallway that was like there's the you would go there's 2 stories, you go downstairs, there's a den, there's this hallway that's and it was always dark, it was always very dark, that led to the garage, and there was another rooms on either side, and the laundry room was a little bit closer, like right at the bottom of the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And this hallway used to always freak me out as a kid too, like it was just so dark and it was just spooky, but I remember this one time specifically I was playing with my toys and I heard from the darkness, Alex, like on my life, like, and it scared the absolute shit out of me because I remember being like going up to my dad like, did you hear that? Like, no, I didn't hear anything. Okay. I remember just being that. I mean, of course, that creeped me out even more about that hallway. Yeah. But it was something very spooky. It was just auditory. Like maybe it was a hallucination. But it was I definitely heard something that was coming from that direction. That was, still gives me chills thinking about it. And I want to say the other time was the only other time I can think of, like, where I had like a spooky thing like that. Really, well, I mean, going into that cave with the faces was very weird.
Mm-hmm.
That one that was out. We went with a group of friends to the cave. Caleb was there.
Wow.
He was the one who knew where it was.
Yeah.
And showed us where it was. Now, by the time we got to the cave and got inside, he was wasted drunk. And, like, by the time we got out, he could barely get us out of the cave and then could not get us out of the forest in the dark. So, like, I had to, like, take point to be like, okay, I'm going to go find the way out.
Guys, at school, I used to sleep in here.
I had to be like, let me go find the way out. I don't know where the way out is, but I'm going to find it because the girls were getting scared. It was both the Samanthas were getting scared.
Yeah.
They were starting to get nervous. We're out in the middle of the night on somebody's property in the woods. Like, and Caleb's like fucking trashed. And can barely stand, so he doesn't know where to go.
Yeah.
And I remember Tommy was there too, and Tommy stayed with the girls. I was like, I'm going to go find the way out and then come back and find you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I did. And I went and found, and I even I didn't want to go down the driveway of these people. So I went through like a thicket bush all the way to get to the car. And I got the car and came back and I see them walking down the driveway and I'm like, I should have just done that.
Yeah.
I should have just did that.
Yeah. That's a better plan.
I'm sneaky.
So what was the faces like, though?
The faces in the cave, though. That's why, we get into the cave, and we're so ill-prepared for this, like, caving trip, man. Mm-hmm. Like, we have alcohol and weed. That's our supplies.
No, we're not.
So, like, we're trying to make our way through this cave with our phone lights and our lighters.
And that was way back when. The phone lights was not as good as they are now.
No, they weren't.
Like, that's like going in there blind.
And there's parts of this cave that are extremely dangerous. Extremely. Like, parts where you're crawling like this, like, through, like, a slit, like, not that one.
That's where I would have turned around.
Where you're trying to, like, wedge your body, trying to, like, get through this place. And there's a part where there's just this cavernous hole, and you're walking on this ledge trying to go around a corner. And you're just like, there's no getting out of that. You fall down that, you're done.
Yeah.
So we get all the way through, and he's like, I'm going to show you that, we're doing this because he wants to show us this room,
Mm-hmm.
And we get to this room finally, and there's these, and it's this cave room, and there's all these faces sculpted into the sides of the room. And, like, all around, I'm talking all around, man. Like, someone has spent a considerable amount of time in here, like, sculpting these faces into the mud. I mean, they're everywhere, man. And so we're all like, oh, it's really spooky. I wish we could have taken pictures of it. This was like really before smartphones. Like,
yeah.
I really wish.
That's what I said. Like,
dude, it was insane. Like, some of the crazy shit I've seen. And of course we smoked a bowl in there too, so it was just like we were like, let's smoke weed.
It's kind of creepy.
It's really creepy. Let's light up. So, and then we crawled out, and then by that time, yeah, he was way too wasted. I had to find our way out of there. Like I'm not the survivalist.
Was he drinking down there?
He was no. We like built a fire right before we went into the cave, and we started drinking. And I guess he just continued to drink. Yeah, I mean that was Caleb. R.I.P.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that was crazy. I'm not trying to say I'm like some survivalist guy either, too. Like in this out of the woods, like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. It was dark with the woods. I was just like, fuck, I'm gonna go this direction. Yeah, I feel like it was this direction.
Well, what we was talking about with ghosts.
But that was my only ghost thing. I mean, and that's more of like a spooky thing, and like the faces just makes you wonder, like there's like an escaped patient or something. Like,
probably.
Who knows, man?
Probably, but always talking about with ghost stories and stuff like that. And this is going to be unbelievable. And at the end of this, you're going to say, "No, you're telling me a lie," and that's fine.
And that's fine.
And that's fine because when it comes to ghost stories, you just say what you've experienced, and people can believe it.
It's not a lie. It's your experience.
It's an experience, and you can believe it or not. But either way, whatever.
Yeah.
But when I worked at Sam and Andy's Fountain City, okay, that place is haunted. And from what I heard, is that whole parking lot was built on an Indian burial ground. Oh. Now, a person I worked with worked at a different spot, like they had moved out of the complex, went someplace else, and it was either like 6-8 months later moved back. Yeah. Whenever they moved back, the spot they moved from was taken. So they had to move to this new place.
Right.
Both places had spiritual activity, or let's say supernatural activity. But this is what I experienced while I was over there. So I don't really scare easy and get feelings of dread.
I don't.
Like I really don't. I've been in bad areas, walked through the wood at night with no lights and stuff like that. Like I don't really spook very easy.
Yeah, we would smoke weed and watch horror. I mean, I would smoke weed and watch horror movies. We would watch horror movies.
But I really don't spook that easy.
No, you don't spook easy at all.
But whenever I was over at Sam and Andy's, there was one time that I'll start with the less and work my way up.
Yeah.
But so one time we used to have these things that we served an appetizer, and we called them boats, but it was like a plastic tray about that big.
Yeah.
Like, a side of fries or something would come in it.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we had those, and they were sitting on top of a topping station. Like the lid was closed, but I was looking at the topping station because somebody had just got done pushing it in, and it had been pushed in for a minute or whatever, but I was looking over there trying to hear if it was running because supposedly they had plugged it back up. And I didn't hear anything, but all of a sudden, and I'm not talking about like there's always a lid on a topping station that's like that goes down an angle like that, and there's a
like
flat
a slant.
Yeah, like a slant. These boats or plastic containers flew off and went to the it would have been like them flying from here and hitting that wall. Like they just flew across.
That's weird.
They didn't slide and then like ramp or anything like that.
Off, yeah.
They literally went vertically or horizontally and across. There was no downward swoop to them until they hit the oven away from them.
Wow.
Okay?
That's weird.
Hard to explain.
But you saw it?
I saw it with my own eyes. Hard to explain it, but I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, oh, okay, well, the topping station turned back on, it vibrated, whatever, I don't care.
Something, you just weren't even paying a mind to it.
That's
weird, but
that's weird.
Maybe there's some reason.
It was weird enough to register.
I don't understand.
But it wasn't until later on I put two and two together that I realized that was part of it.
Yeah.
But like at the time, I was just like, man.
Yeah.
Well, anyways,
maybe there's something I don't want needs to understand or see or that whatever.
So a coworker that I was with, he would work day shift. And he told me, he said, he wouldn't talk about the hauntings inside the store. Like, would not. if I got him,
Yeah.
I would go do stuff like, extracurricular stuff with him outside of work and whatnot. Like, we would, go play frisbee golf or something like that. We'd hang out.
Yeah.
And when we was hanging out, he would talk about it, but he would not talk about it.
Would he talk about how he wouldn't talk about it at the store?
No, he just said, dude, I ain't talking about that over there.
No,
he goes, I'm
bad juju.
Yeah. He goes, I'm not doing it.
Nah.
Hey, I don't want to be followed by nothing. He goes, I ain't talking about it over there.
Yeah.
Like,
pick up a hitchhiker.
Exactly. But anyway, so he told me, he goes, there's some weird stuff that goes on here. And there's some stuff that I've seen that I can't explain. And he goes, but this one is so odd that there's no way that I can explain it. He said, I come in at anywhere between, depending on how much that we have to do in the morning, because we would do catering in the mornings over there.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'd have to get there at 6 a.m. Sometimes we'd have to get there at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
If it was really, really small, it could be 9 a.m. He would get there at 6 a.m. Okay?
Yeah.
And at some point, between 6 a.m. and 10:30, we opened at 11.
Okay.
And it was always 10:30. Okay? Never later. The women's, we didn't have any kind of automatic flush systems. It was the push down lever and stuff like that. The women's bathroom would flush every time, once a day. Nobody would be in that store other than me and him.
Yeah.
Multiple times, nobody would be in that store other than me and him.
And you would hear it flush.
And we would hear it flush. And so, like I said, I didn't really think much of it. I was like, he's full of crap. I had to do a catering one day. Me and him was at the register. Nobody else in the store.
Yeah.
It was 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I hear, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. And he goes, I told you I wasn't lying. Like that. And I was like, wow. But that wasn't even the spookiest thing that happened.
Yeah.
So I had built a shelf while I was over there, and we used to keep the radio on it. And the shelf was about, I'm going to say, 9.5, 10 foot in the air. Okay,
Yeah.
I was at max reach whenever I put it up. Like the bottom of the shelf was no lower than 8 foot.
Yeah.
And I think the shelf was about 1.5 feet. So let's say maybe 9.5 feet. But
Right.
anyways, so I put the shelf up, checked how good it was and stuff like that. Made sure I leveled it. I did everything right.
Yeah.
Okay, I leveled it. I made sure that I found studs whenever I put it up. And, I know what I'm doing. I made sure I did it right.
Yeah.
And checked it after it was done. Made sure it was level from every angle, and it was.
Yeah.
And we had the audio system we had over there. We had a equalizer, like a volume setting for all the speakers in the back, speakers in the front, speakers on the patio, and so on.
Yeah.
So, we had that was always up there. And the radio that we would change the channel on would be on top because we didn't use Muzak. It was too cheap.
Okay.
So we just turned the radio on. But if it was touched, it was either touched in the very beginning of the morning or at night.
Right.
Nobody went over there and touched it during the day. Okay?
Okay.
Because honestly, the music was so low that if he was sitting in the lobby, you could hear it. But if he was back in the kitchen, it's too loud, you could hear nothing.
Right.
Okay? And he wouldn't have it turned up in the kitchen at all. So me and 3 other coworkers was in the back. And all of a sudden, we hear this crash. And we was like, what the hell is that? The radio had fell off the shelf, but it didn't fall down. Okay? It fell across the restaurant. We go out there, and I was like, what the hell is that sound? And all of a sudden, I look up, and I was like, oh, the radio's gone. Well, where the hell's the radio? And I look, and it is almost all the way on the other side of the restaurant.
That's wild.
And I'm like, if it fell, there's no way it could do that. And not only that, but I would have heard it bling, 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 go across the store like that.
Yeah, and there was nobody back there?
And everybody in the store, there was no customers in there. It was the dead part of the day. And this was midday.
Yeah.
It was earlier than this time now.
Yeah.
And it was midday. And after that, the spookiest thing was, like I said, I don't get spooked out or anything like that. There was a couple of times while I was there that I was doing side projects after we closed. So, and one time I was building picnic tables.
Okay.
Well, we had a patio there, but at midnight, Food City that was across the way would just turn off the lights.
Yeah.
Okay, midnight, all the lights are off at Food City, and that parking lot gets kind of dark.
Yeah.
Not saying it's pitch black, but it gets pretty dark. Well, like I said, I've been in the woods and stuff like that. That stuff really don't bother me, like the darkness and stuff like that.
Right.
But one thing I did notice is this, and this is through multiple nights, but I didn't realize how bad it was until this night. But I would have to stay late to make the schedule and stuff like that for next week. And, there's some nights I didn't get out of there till 10:30, 11.
Yeah.
Okay? And, never really occurred to me that, something was going on or something like that. I just felt the need to get out of the damn restaurant. And, I just, shrugged it off like I did those plastic containers.
Just a feeling. It was a little small feeling.
I want to get the fuck out of here. And it would always hit about 10:30 or 11.
Yeah.
All right, at night. And mainly towards 11. Okay?
Yeah.
But whenever I was over there doing those picnic tables, that took a while. Because I was in the dark having to do them by myself at like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I told myself, I was like, you know what? I said, we're gonna finish these up the next day or whatever. But the whole time, from 11 o'clock all the way to 1 o'clock,
yeah,
the sense of dread and the sense of get out of there
it was
just
like
kept
overwhelming.
growing and growing and growing. And dude, it was almost to the point that whenever I left, I was running out.
Damn.
Like, it was almost to that point.
Yeah.
It felt like somebody was right behind me.
Like somebody was right about to like grab you from
Pretty much. Or they would have popped out or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's still not the most messed up thing that's happened there. So I had just started being a manager. Okay. And there was a front door, a side door, a patio door, and a back door. Okay. So I went in there, and the way I had to do was make sure everything was locked, except for the front door. But the front door had to be shut in order for me to set the alarm.
Okay.
I was new to being a manager, but I had already done it for like a month and a half at this point. I was at least 6 weeks in. I had shut down every single night and closed. Okay, so I wasn't unfamiliar with locking up anyway. So it was me, another guy I worked with, and a girl I worked with. Okay. And we was all getting out of there at the same time because he was doing dishes, and I had to, count down the register, and she had to do the lobby, and we literally all finished like within 5 minutes of each other.
Right.
So we're all getting ready to walk out the door. I was like, hey guys, just hold on, let me set these alarms, and we'll get out of here. So I go to set the alarms, and like I go and lock all the doors except for the front door, and I pull it too. I always make sure I pull it too. And whenever I did, go back to the alarm facing on the wall, and it showed that there was a door open. So I was like, okay. So, and we also had like these buzzers that whenever a door would open, it would nah, like that as soon as it would open.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I didn't hear nothing, but whatever. So we go through, and I check all the doors again, go back to and the back door had to be barred up. Like we had an actual bar on it.
Yeah.
And go check all of them again, open them, shut them, lock them, and same deal.
Okay.
So I told the boy that was working there still, I said, hey, I was like, I got a job for you. And I told the girl, I was like, I got a job for you. I told the girl, I was like, you're going to follow me while I do this. And I told the guy, I was like, at any point, if that door symbol that's up there turns off, let me know instantly.
Yeah.
All right? So first thing I did is I went to the patio door, and I pulled it too, and I was like, did it turn off? No. Went to the front door, pulled it too. Did it turn off? No. Went to the side door, and we never used the side door. And I was like, I pulled it too. I was like, did it turn off? No. So I go to the back door, and
which is all supposed to be all barred.
It's all barred up and stuff like that. I had to unbar it and unlock it and all that. Opened it up, shut it. I was like, did it go off now? He goes, no. So I opened that thing up, and I slammed it shut. Like,
okay.
Exactly, because I was tired of filming.
You're like, okay, what the hell's the problem with this?
And so it knocked the sensor off the top. So I put the sensor back up there, and I go to shut it, and it still said the door was open. And I was like, well, it's probably that sensor that, I probably messed it up.
Maybe the sensor's fucked up.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So I went through and I checked again. And whenever I got to the back door this time, I pulled the door too. And whenever I did, it read closed.
Okay.
So he's like, the emblem went off. I was like, okay. So I looked at the girl. I was like, all the doors are locked, right? I was like, I went through and I locked them all except for the front. She goes, yes. I was right beside you the whole time. Everything's locked up. Good. Walk up to the meter that's on there. Before I can hit the first button, it goes, and the door opened. I don't know what door it was. I got the fuck out of there. Because I know for a fact, and even had witnesses, that those doors was shut and locked. And I literally go, put that code in, and I ran out the front door. Like, I was like,
crazy.
You all can find match my pace or not. I was like, but either way, I'm gone.
I'm out of here. Well, shit, man. I think we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah.
That was a great story, though. That was a spooky one. That was a good second episode. I feel like that was a better one.
Yeah.
Not to say the first one was bad or anything, but
live and learn. Every day we a little bit better.
Are we still recording at least? Yeah. Okay, good. Let's. All right. We'll wrap it up and stay tuned for a new episode. I think we'll probably do this at least weekly. Hopefully. So look forward to another episode here in, the next week at most,
Yeah.
Take care.